greatest things that Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 did was give us playable giants. And the only problem with playable giants are that we don't have enough. So let's talk about how Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 can give us more giants and also just perfect the way that they operate in the game. And if you want to skip to me talking about Great Apes, I'll have a timestamp right here. With the addition of new DLC characters like Restrain Broly, DBS Broly, we see that Dragon Ball Xenoverse is allowing you to transform, but not allowing you to detransform when it comes to certain transformations. Which I actually like because that's going to help me separate giants into two separate categories. Category 1 will be what I'm going to call true giants. Now these are going to be characters like Harudegard, Annie Raza, Janemba, Dr. Weelo. No, do not add him to the game. No, do not do that. But as you probably already guessed, a quote-unquote true giant is pretty much just a character that's always a giant. They can't really turn it off or anything like that. After that, we will have the regular or untrue giants. And that's going to be things like Giant Namekian, Bergamo. But before I dive deep into those two specific categories, I do want to talk about one universal change I want to see to giant skills in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. And that change is letting us customize the skills our giants have. Now, in my previous video talking about raid bosses, one of the big changes I wanted was to change the raid boss movesets to fit the character. Like, instead of every raid boss having Gigantic Ki Blast, give Broly Omega Blaster. Instead of having Marbling Drop, give Fusamasu Blades of Judgment. And these new raid moves would also go to our characters in the Crystal Raid mode. In that same way, the new giant moves could also go to our CACs. Instead of Boulder Throw, give us Dimension Punch. Instead of Great Ape Beam, give us Great Ape Gallic Gun. Instead of Howl, give us Harudegard's move where he turns into Mist. And please give us something other than Super Great Ape Beam. That move is so bad, bro. Like, come on, give us the Revenge Death Ball. Give us Annie Raza's Big Ball Attack. Like, come on, there's a lot of things you can give us. Or give us Harudegard's Gigantic Flamethrower. That move would be awesome. And with that out the way, I think we can talk about how I think true giant characters should work in Xenoverse 3. In other Dragon Ball games like Budokai 4, Sparking Zero, giants are really hit or miss. They're either going to be really broken because they have super armor, or if your character can punch through the super armor, the giants are awful. Because you have such a big hitbox, your opponent can pretty much just infinitely loop you in combos and there's nothing you can really do about it. It's really awful to play against or to play as. Now, unlike Sparking Zero, Xenoverse giants have infinite super armor, which sounds broken, but they actually found a way to balance it. The balance comes in the form of the stamina bar. Whenever you break their stamina, they can't move and you can attack their health directly. But there are two different versions of the giant stamina bar system. When it comes to Great Apes, you have to break their stamina over and over again to actually hurt their health. But when it comes to Cell Max, you can only break his stamina once, but after that, you can keep doing damage to his health continuously. Now, for the sake of having fun gameplay, I'm going to go with the Cell Max approach when it comes to all true giants, only because I know it would get really annoying really fast if you're always getting staggered as a giant holding your face like a 2016 DJ Khaled meme. Like, I think the player base would find that really unfun, so let's not do that. But fighting a giant that is not continuously getting staggered is going to be way harder. So, to balance it, we're going to find more weaknesses to add to giants. Now, there's already some really cool stuff like how you can blind giants with Solar Flare or with Thunder Eraser. But we can find even more weaknesses, an example being how you can grab the tails on Great Apes. Now, when I say that, you're probably thinking about doing it after you already staggered the giants, but to all my bros that played Xenoverse 1, you might remember that if a Great Ape was in the middle of doing an attack, you could grab their tail. And I think things like that are not only really cool, but add balance to the game. Make Cell Max and Annie Raza have weak points on their head. Also, please add a super attack to where your character whistles, and it's only effective on the Namekians and Giant Namekians, but that would be amazing. Please add that. Now, I've covered a lot of the weaknesses that giants should have to make them balanced, but they also need a lot of buffs too. One of the buffs they need most are buffs to their super attacks. Giant super attacks are slow, easy to dodge, do no damage, barely do any guard damage. Like, they are lacking in every single area. And besides just giving them a basic damage buff, I really want giant super attacks to either ignore guards or be guard breaks. This Boulder Throw should break my guard, dude. And this Slow Beam should also either break my guard or just ignore it. And again, not all of them have to do this. Like Cell Max's Mouth Blast, that move is really fast and good, so that doesn't have to like guard break, but the slower giant moves definitely need guard break on them. I also do want the Giants' normal combo sets to be buffed too, because you can literally just fly around them and they can't hit you. Like, that is awful. Please make them faster. Kind of like So Max. So Max is fast enough to hit you, so just make them that fast to where I can actually hit my opponents consistently. And I don't want True Giants to have a fast flight, but they do need flight so they can actually be able to move around on areas, because if they don't, they will literally be stuck and helpless. And I think the basic attacks of Giants should do a lot of stamina damage, so you're not going to really want to block them, but Giants aren't even really that hard to avoid in the first place, so you'll be fine. And also, Xenoverse 3, please give us an actual Shenron boss fight. You low-key blue-balled us back in Future Pack 3. Come on, bro, I'm going to need that actual Ultimate Tenkaichi true Shenron boss fight. That would be peak. Now, before we move on to the regular Giants, I do want to talk about one more type of True Giant, which is the Pseudo True Giant. Now, while these types of Giants will be able to transform, the transformations are going to be permanent, so I'm still going to put them in the True Giant category, and their fighting styles will be how True Giants fight, and not how Giant Namekians fight. As you probably already guessed, the first type of Pseudo True Giant will be the Great Ape. Now, the way I see Great Apes working in Xenoverse 3 will be either through making an artificial moon or using a Blitz Wave machine. But in my personal opinion, I think it would be way more interesting to not make these awoken skills, but to actually make these ultimate attacks. And in Xenoverse 2, we already have ultimates that are able to transform our character. An example being Teen Gohan's new ultimate, Violent Flash. Now, with the fake moon skill, you're going to pretty much do the exact same thing Vegeta did. You're going to make it, throw it in the air, burst open and mix! And then after that, you're going to have to lock on to the new moon, look at it for like 5 seconds maybe, without getting interrupted or hit, and then you will start to transform. But to make this really fun, I think your teammates and enemies should also be able to lock on to the Power Ball and become Great Apes. Now, because both teams can lock on to the Powerball, I think you could also maybe have a function to where someone can destroy it, kind of like how Turtles destroyed his Powerball. But if the Powerball is destroyed, I think the people who have already become Great Apes shouldn't go back to their normal forms immediately, because 1, that would be super lame, and 2, Turtles did state that the effects of the Powerball would still linger even after being destroyed. And I know that isn't stated in the canon, but that would work way better from a gameplay design perspective. Now, with the Blitz Wave Machine Ultimate, that's going to be different. It's really just going to be a light coming down from the sky, hitting your character, and instantly making you, and only you, into a Great Ape. And as you probably already guessed, regular Saiyans like Vegeta would have the Powerball, and then people like Baby would have the Blitz Wave Machine as their way to transform. And something else that's really important is the actual animation sequence of our characters becoming Great Apes. And I have a way that I think Xenoverse 3 could do it, and it would actually flow with the game. Now, we obviously aren't going to get some super slow, detailed transformation. Like, let's not even try to expect that. That's like way too much to ask. But they can still make a really cool sequence by just doing simple things. Now, like I said earlier, I want our characters to have to lock on and look at the fake moon for about like 5 seconds, which is really long in the middle of a battle and does give our opponent chances to stop us from transforming. Then the actual transformation animation can start. Our character's eyes will go like pink. We can get the cool electricity behind us. And just like the show, once your eyes start to change, your enemies won't be able to interrupt the transformation. Similar to how you can't stop DBS Broly's transformation. Our character's chest is going to start pumping, there's going to be a big aura enveloping us, and then boom, an explosion, and our Great Ape will just kind of arise out of that. And it's pretty much going to be the same thing with the Blitz Waves. Our characters will be enveloped by the Blitz Waves for about 5 seconds, and then after that, the actual animation starts. And to make this super easy for you guys to visualize, I'm literally going to just stitch together scenes from the show, and I'm going to time them to be how I think they can be timed in the game. Also, Xenoverse, please let us lock on to the full moon on the night map. And if you want to just go crazy, let us just blow up the moon, bro. Like, crazy stuff like that would make Xenoverse 3 the most insane Dragon Ball game of all time. And also, because these are ultimate attacks, we still have an awakening slot. And I think if you have a yellow-haired Super Saiyan on your awoken slot, you should become a golden Great Ape, which I think should give you an extra attack buff on your Great Ape form. And the last true Pseudo Giant would be Janemba, because Janemba isn't going to become a giant, he's going to become a regular character. And of course, he won't be able to transform back. Okay, now we're done with the true giants, let's go on to the regular giants. Now, the regular giants will be the giant Namekians, the orange giant Namekians, which will be functionally the same thing. The only difference will be really cosmetics. And the orange giant Namekian will be a part of the Power Awakened and Orange Piccolo Awoken skill. I think the Frieza race should have the Metal Cooler transformation, and by extension, the gigantic Metal Cooler transformation. If Xenoverse 3 has a Demon Realm race, give them the Third Eye as their own giant form. And as a universal giant awoken skill, you can literally just give us Bergamo's giant mode. Now, as you guys already know, these types of giants play really differently from the true giants because, one, their stamina goes down over time, but they're way more agile and way harder to deal with. But the big problem is that they made their moves really lame. Like, you literally have 3 different versions of Mouth Cannon and Howl as a 4th super attack. Please change that. As I said earlier in the video, give us some more giant skills for our CACs. Also, please buff the CAC version of Howl because it is literally useless. It can't even block ultimate attacks. Like, please buff that move, dude. And also, make it an evasive because for some reason it's just a super attack. Giants should have super attacks, evasives, and ultimates. And I think that's pretty much it for this video. Now, I am going to make different transformation videos for each race, and then on those videos, I'm going to go way more in depth on how the transformation should function. Like, I'm going to talk about how the Metal Cooler form should have like really cool metal spikes and metal grabbing abilities and stuff like that. So expect those videos, expect more videos. Hey bro, keep doing your best. I'm going to keep doing my best. God bless you guys. I'm going to catch you guys later.